Hey folks, it's Ray with Taste Radio. Right now I am supremely honored to be sitting down with the one and only Lance Collins. Lance, great to see you.
Great seeing you, Ray.
Yeah, it's been a while. The last
10 years?
Well, you know what? We have visited your house a couple times. The first time we were there, we did a video for BevNET.com. The second time we did an interview for Taste Radio, which was very well received. In both cases, I was just amazed by the hustle that you show, given that you have cases of product always ready to go in your car. And I think that's probably something that you've done throughout your career, is always be ready with samples, always have samples on hand.
I'm a traveling salesman.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, look, that's what the beverage industry is. It's hustle, it's grit, it's perseverance, and you know, some of that you talked about on stage just now here at the Beverage Forum in Manhattan Beach. And when I think about your career and just the volume of brands that you've created, like the volume of brands that have been successful on the market, is there a through line? Is there one or two things that link all your brands and all your products?
Yeah, it's my passion. You can't teach passion, even when you're not winning in the beginning, and the world's going against you. You have lots of employees. You have to overhire sales. If sales don't keep up with your overhead, your expenses, you burn money like it's going out of style. And then you got to figure out where I'm going to break even. When am I going to save this thing? It happened with Fuze. First 3 years, it was brutal. Fourth year was great. Fifth year broke even. Sixth year, seventh year made a lot of money, and then sold to Coke. And NOS was a rocket ship. I didn't have that issue. But then again, I started BodyArmor. First 4 years were torture.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone said, "You're crazy. You went after BodyArmor? You went after Gatorade? Are you crazy?" And yeah, I'm a little crazy.
That was the first time we visited your house. I remember we were talking about the bottle and some of the changes that you were planning on making to the bottle, and some people might look at BodyArmor and say, "Look at that amazing brand. Look at that great, amazing exit that they had with the Coca-Cola Company." But it took years of trial and error to get it to a place where it really could be that disruptive, that challenger brand to Gatorade and Powerade. And I think that's true across some of the brands that we have on the table here, including one more. That's Casa Azul, which, getting into the beverage alcohol business, I mean, some might say that's a recipe for disaster, but here you are doing it with both the tequila itself and canned cocktails. I mean, how's that going?
It's going unbelievable.
Yep.
Basically, disrupting the market, the alcohol market. 70% of tequila brands have additives in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all about organic, purity, no additives. That's my whole thing. And I'm doing a new organic sport drink called Recover 180.
Got it here?
Yep, it's organic. It's got 1 gram of sugar, 15 calories serving, sweetened with organic stevia, a little bit of erythritol, organic coconut water. It's got all the, it's like sodium for organic sea salt, potassium for organic sources, and it's the next big sport drink.
You had said you want to create something valuable and urged entrepreneurs to create something valuable. Again, you had already entered the sports drink category once before with BodyArmor, doing it again with Recover 180. What does this add to the category? How did you analyze a need state for consumers such that this would be something that they would start grabbing, and this being the Recover 180?
So I know the sports drink isotonic market very well. I would say that my competitors have a lot of artificial flavors, colors, red 40, yellow 3. All those carcinogenic colors are a bad thing. That bad gives me a very good opportunity to do better with the product. Now I've upscaled to an organic product. It tastes great. It looks great. And when I started BodyArmor, Mike and I had to pay the athletes.
Mike Rapoli.
Yeah,
co-founder.
We had to pay Harden. We had to pay Gronk. We had to pay Richard Sherman. We had to pay everybody, Trout. And today I started this new drink, and they pay me now because Harden made $27 million, Gronk made a lot of money.
Off the sale of BodyArmor.
Yes. So they wanted to come in heavy because $27 million wasn't enough for James. He wants a couple $100 million now. So he wanted to take the whole round, but he took a good piece of it. And it's unbelievable how this is such a paradigm shift that I'm actually getting paid from the athletes to have skin in the game. And that's a once-in-a-lifetime event I never thought I would see.
Aside from the idea that you shouldn't be just paying athletes to participate as an ambassador in your brand, what other lessons have you been able to acquire from BodyArmor that you're applying to Recover 180?
I think strategy. Rapoli was a great strategist. I think I have his playbook. He'd probably not happy to hear that, but Mike is a genius. And I brought him into BodyArmor year 2, and the results were incredible. We fought together. We were in the trenches together. It wasn't easy, okay? It was 24/7, 7 days a week, but we did it. And, I wish Mike was in my new deals, but unfortunately the way his arrangement is he can't be in the deals. So he's doing other great things with his shoe companies and food companies. But I'm moving on. He's also a partner with me in the organic tequila. So that's good.
For folks who are listening, I'm sure they're like, well, yeah, of course Lance can, do all these things because he's got a track record of success. He's got people who are, funding his ventures. I mean, but when you think about sort of that grind and being able to do things in a sort of affordable way and do things from the ground up without spending a lot of money, I mean, is there a way that you can advise early stage founders on how to do those things without a huge investment?
Well, if they're strategic and they don't go too far, they can do regional launches, have good sampling teams. Hopefully they have liquidity. I hope they don't mortgage their homes. But it's a different world. I'm up against Celsius. They have an $18 billion market cap. They're spending probably $100 million on their marketing. They have teams on every channel, YouTube, Instagram. They're just everywhere. But it took them 18 years to get to $100 million. They couldn't really give it away for the first 12 years. So kudos to them. They stuck with it. And now it's a hot brand. And my new brand, Accelerator, which I think is a competitor and a very strong competitor, we have to play the same game.
I just want to go back to don't mortgage your house. There are a lot of founders out there who will mortgage their house, who will liquidate assets because they believe in what they're doing. You see that as being a dangerous thing to do. And, I think...
No, I don't. If they believe in their mission, they have to mortgage their house. I mean, unless they have a rich father or a relative that will invest in their company, families and friends. I mortgaged my house at Fuze twice. It's a true story. So I didn't know if I was going to lose my house or not, but it made me work harder.
Well, I think that's part of it. I mean, but what really impresses you about founders when you say work harder? In what way are they working harder?
Honestly, if you love what you do, you don't have a job. And if it's working, better. If it's not working, you're thriving to make it work. You got to work 24/7, 7 days a week. It's got to consume you. Unfortunately, when I started Fuze, I had a little daughter. I shared custody, and it was 24/7 Fuze, 24/7 NOS, 24/7 BodyArmor. And then I got married, which was even better. I married my muse, Linda Collins.
I think the idea of working all the time is something that'll turn a lot of people off because you do want to have a life. You do want to separate your professional and personal life. But the failure rate in beverage is so high. What do you attribute failure to? When people don't make it, there's a lot of different factors, but what would you attribute most factors to?
They're in denial. They think they have a great product and they don't. A lot of guys came to me. I try to help them, but I have examples, but I'm not going to say
Sure,
it
no,
here.
please. I understand why.
And I said, guys, give it up. You're in this particular. They had a rich doctor father who's losing a lot of money. I said you should give him a break and figure out how to start over again with something better. And you know what? There's a lot of people that did make it that I gave advice to. I mean, this girl Poppy today.
Sure.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, Allison Ellsworth and her husband Steven created a brilliant brand, yeah.
Allison Ellsworth is a force of nature. I'm mad at her because she didn't let me invest in her company.
She didn't let you, or she didn't ask you?
She didn't know me.
Oh, okay.
But what she's doing is wonderful. I have a product in functional fizz that's coming out called Muse.
Yep.
With the D'Amelios.
Mm-hmm.
It's disruptive. I'm going to give everybody in that territory a run. I got Bill Juarez running this with Megan Robles, my marketing person. They're awesome. Bill is just a force of nature. So, and Megan, and you have to have great people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have great people, you can't do it all yourself.
Great people is really important. What else is important? Because if I look at, say, the Accelerator can that you have right here, I see this branding, and I'm like, how is this going to stand out on shelf next to a Celsius? And I really believe it could. But what did you want out of this package design, out of this label design?
I'm going to mention a name, Evan Schuster.
Evan Schuster. Who is that?
Scott DeLorme. Evan Schuster was a designer at Nike.
Okay.
And then he was with Scott DeLorme at Monster. And then they came and joined me at A-Shock, which, by the way, was a 16-ounce can. We launched it during the pandemic. We failed miserably, okay? It was a great product. We just couldn't compete against Bang and Monster and Red Bull. And we figured out, you know what? This is not working. This is a perfect example how to evolve. And we said, you know what? I'm going to go into a 12-ounce slimline can. I'm going to do a thermogenic energy drink that helps burn fat, that tastes great, has no sugar, ocean minerals, all the little things you got to do, NSF certified for athlete safe. And we developed this beautiful can, and it's on fire.
We've got the can right here. This is the Rocket Pop. This feels very American is the best word. It basically looks like an American flag here. And I think, again, it also feels like it's for a younger consumer. Like this has a popsicle, like a red, white, and blue popsicle as part of the branding here, as part of the label design. Is that who you need to reach with energy drinks, with
Gen
sports
Z,
drinks?
millennials.
Yep.
We have some baby boomers too.
But for the most part, are those the ones? Like, if you are creating a new brand, do you have to be laser focused on one particular demographic, or is it something where you'll learn along the way about who's drinking your product?
To be honest, you'll learn along the way, and you'll know really fast who's drinking your product. We have sampling and demos, and we do a lot of data mining, and we have a lot of Gen Z millennials on this. And also with Recover and Core, and now Casa Azul, it's reasonably priced, so we have a younger demographic.
Lance, I've already taken up a lot of your time. I just got to ask, if you were to start over, let's say you were your 25-year-old Lance Collins, and you hadn't created any brands, and you were starting over, and you said, look, this is one mistake that really cost me a lot of time, money, and resources, and I would never make this mistake again. What is that mistake?
Well, first of all, I've been blessed. I never made that mistake at 25.
Okay.
So I actually didn't start Fuze until I was 35.
Okay.
So anyway, I had.
You look young, so I'm trying to.
I look younger than my age, but that's because I love what I do. I love my family. It's easy to look good. Anyway, at 25. Measure 3 times and cut once. I mean, if you have something that you think is going to work, go with it. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is you fail. And by the way, 90% of the people fail. It's just a fact. And I'm the lucky top 10% that haven't failed.
But there were mistakes along the way. And if there was a mistake that you said, this is one that really I should not have made and I will not make again, what would that be?
Okay, when I started BodyArmor, I had an overwrap. And if you had a Swiss Army knife to open the bottle, you'd have to drink it. It was super drink. I had Coke Q10. I had amino acids. I had green tea extract. It was called BodyArmor Super Drink. And I said, Tony Harrelon was calling me. He goes, people are not liking the drink. It's too astringent. And I said, yeah, but it's super drink. He goes, it doesn't matter. If people don't like the taste. So with that, and luckily I only destroyed in L.A., I got on a plane, went to Erlanger. I changed the formulas, changed the packaging, and I relaunched the current formulas. But the key is, if you're going to make a mistake, make a fast mistake and make a fast fix.
And try your best to keep it simple.
And try your best to keep it simple.
Last thing, Lance, all of your brands are positioned to be big, mainstream, nationally distributed brands. Is that intentional? I mean, have you ever created a brand where you said, this is going to work regionally, this is going to work with this particular demographic, this is going to work with these types of folks, or have you always been go big or go home?
No, I'm not. Even with Accelerator, I'm only at 20% ACV after a year. I didn't.
That's still pretty impressive, actually.
Right. Oh, okay, but for me, I'm letting Mike Fine and Andrew, Andrew's unbelievable, Wilkinson, and Paul, and their strategy is, let's grab 3-4 markets and really develop them, and then let's increase our ACV to 40 or 50% our second year, and by third year it would be 100%. But if you create some sparks in like Louisville, in like Minneapolis, in Kansas City, in Dallas, and you get these success stories, you can make a brand. It's harder to go broader and wider in the beginning and be successful in all that geography. So I am, and I'm more focused on recover, on launching not the whole country right away, maybe the East Coast, West Coast, and that's where we're at. So it's always strategy for me now, because I know how hard, if you go too deep and far in the beginning, you're not going to make it.
Lance, it's always great speaking with you, even if it's a few years apart here and there. But I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on everything you built. It's amazing. I mean, since BodyArmor, you've launched, another 6 brands? I mean, it's crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on everything. I'm really happy that you're spending time with your family. It's why you do what you do, right?
Ray, you look really good, man.
Thanks. I appreciate that. You as well.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.